Welcome to Walking with Jesus Bible Study. We're going to be in the book of Galatians, chapter 5, verses 22 and 23. Verse 22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, and faith. Verses 23. Meekness, temperance, against such there is no law. And I'm going to repeat that. Verse 22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith. Verse 23. Meekness, temperance, against such there is no law. The fruit of the Spirit refers to characteristics that we should be expressing as sons and daughters of God. They are the evidence of the mature God that is inside of us. As a Christian, you should be very loving and kind and patient, gentle, good, faithful, should have meek, be very joyful and peaceful. Because we have the Holy Spirit, and that is our guide that is inside of us to help us make decisions that reflect this nature of God in our daily lives. We need to be a reflection of God. We are God's children, therefore we should be able to reflect Him. We are made in His kindness, just as our children can reflect who we are, even by appearances, the way they look, or the similarity. We too should be able to reflect that we are God's. And not just in our actions, the way we look, but the way we dress, the way we talk, the way we carry ourselves. People should be able to look, and I'm not talking about that we have to be this three-piece suit wearing person and these long dresses type kind of things. And that's not what I mean by how we dress. It just means that we are dressed moderately. That we're not out here with our butt cheeks hanging out. You know what I'm saying? We're not out here walking around shirtless. Even if you are a man of God, and just because you're not a female, it is not okay to be walking around shirtless. You too need to be covering up. For we're not supposed to be making it, not supposed to be a temptation of sin towards other people. If you're in a relationship with somebody, you definitely should not be doing that to have caused somebody to commit adultery just by looking at you. You need to be modestly covered up. Now, it doesn't say that you have to be dressed in fine clothes. In fact, it says that women of God need to be dressed very modestly and not of rich apparel, flashy things. It's okay to dress nicely, but we're not supposed to be boasting or gloating. So sometimes some of these outfits that some people be wearing, they're only doing it to boast and to show off things. And that is not how a Christian is supposed to act. And a lot of people's getting it twisted. And that's what happens. I see a lot of times when I was growing up in church, that a lot of people would separate themselves and would go to church just to show off who wore something better than the other person, and became a fashion show and not about Christ. There's a lot of people that come to the same church. Some have money, some do not have money. Yes, you are supposed to come as you are, because as you come to God, He will heal you, He will fix you. So some people ain't going to be dressed right appropriately when they first come to God, but God will change that and He will fix that. And once you become a child fully in God and walking in that relationship with God, you're just supposed to dress, covering yourself, so to speak. You don't have to be dressed in these expensive attire. That has nothing to do with Christ. The price of your clothes, what name brand you have on. In fact, it doesn't say it in the scriptures, But I know that a little bit of wearing some of these name brand clothes is almost like you're idolizing it, is wearing a false idol on your clothes, so to speak. You are placing that name brand and you're advertising that brand and not advertising God or Jesus. Why would you care to want to advertise to the world, well, look at me, I'm wearing this Gucci thing. Look at me. You know, we should not be focused on that. We should not be supporting such things. Some of those companies and those name brands that you are wearing, you don't know what those companies are doing to God's actual children, to God's actual, and by literally I'm saying that is there you got children working in these sweatshops who are not getting paid to make these clothes. They are pretty much just supporting that a slavery of a child. They don't get fed, they don't get eaten. I mean, it's going to happen, you know, but you're not supposed to be supporting it. You can't help that it's there, but that is just because you can't help that they exist doesn't mean that you should be supporting those companies. If people would not buy them, then the company would go out of business and therefore they can no longer do those things. It doesn't matter if they already exist. You could keep them from existing. But everybody's got too much prideness and want to be things of this world and be worldly. And Christ called us not to be worldly. He says not to be things of this world. Do not be like the sinners. Do not act like the heathens. Do not do as they do. For we are to be set apart from them. And see a lot of people ruining their walk and ruining their relationship with God just by the simple things that they are wearing. You may not think it would be true, but are you really making it a big deal? See how much you pay much attention to those things just because it is a name brand of a purse, of certain shoes, of the brands, how you place that so much above something else. And it is an item. Should you really be placing the name of a shoe or a shoe above certain things? A lot of people are struggling right now and you don't know how to make it, but you make it a point to spend the extra amount of monies for these name brand things when you could be using it for your family. And you swear you just don't know how to make it, but why are you buying these things just because everybody else is wearing? You don't want to be picked on? You want to be made fun of? You want to be called poor? Being called poor and being bullied and being made fun of has nothing to do come Judgment Day. God's trying to help you survive, but you're too focused on the wrong things in life. Quit pleasing the people and start worrying about pleasing God. It's just not referring to a preacher preaching to the people and wanting to do what they say. It's also about your attitude and the things of this world. Are you out there pleasing people and not pleasing God? It's not just for the pastors, the evangelists. It's for you too. How you treat other people. Are you not going to like this person because you're over here in this group and this group doesn't so happen to like that person over there? So instead of being a friend to that person, you're going to do as this group is doing to please the people, so therefore you don't be an outcast like that person. Well, I'm going to tell you right now what Jesus is. Jesus is sitting over there with that outcast that you refuse to go over and be friends with because you want to please the people and not please God. And that is so much what's wrong with the world today. Y'all want to talk about bullying, but you don't realize the amount of bullying you do on an everyday basis and how your actions and how you treat people just by simply what they wear, what name brands they have on, if they're cool or not, or what they look like. You can wear overalls and a nice button-down shirt and it still be classy. But see, y'all got y'all judgment levels on a whole nother level that has nothing to do with anything. Y'all need to readdress how you look at things, how you think about things, and how you represent things. Because those things that you may be representing isn't of God. And it's not pleasing God. You're just pleasing yourself. You're pleasing the world.